masalah internet connection tak dapat dengar dengan jelas apa semua, you can always go back to the recording, insyaAllah. Saya dah tanya kan, you guys don't mind kalau saya upload semua ni kat YouTube kan?
No, not at all.
Tapi sir, let's say I turn on the video camera, my face is on YouTube ah.
Yes, you so you can actually switch it on. Tak ada masalah.
Free cloud.
Kan macam ada satu video tu kan, when you buka video lepas tu ada background tu kan, so that's actually on YouTube lah. Nanti saya edit nanti supaya benda tu besar sikit. Tak adalah. Okay. InsyaAllah. So kita dah masuk particle and nuclear physics. Kalau ikutkan AS syllabus dah complete, alhamdulillah. You are ready lah untuk nak ambil exam kan. AS insyaAllah. End of this year insyaAllah. Okay. So particle and nuclear physics insyaAllah, bismillah. Go for the first question, okay? The nuclide, just take out my pen first. Right. The nuclide uranium decays by emitting alpha particles and beta minus particles in a series of decays to form lead. Ataupun plumbum, dalam bahasa Melayu plumbum, tapi kita panggil lead lah. 8 alpha particles are emitted in the sequence. How many beta minus particles are emitted? Alright. So generally, kalau ikutkan this chapter, not really much on the equations, betul tak? Not really much on the calculations. It's more understanding of the concept. Dia punya equation pun tak adalah macam bombastic. Tak ada kena hafal equation, tak ada kena hafal formula. Kena hafal mungkinlah fakta-fakta lah kan. Ada alpha, beta and gamma radiation kan. So I think any questions relating to calculations for this chapter should be manageable, unless of course lah careless mistake. Cuma yang untuk ini dia tak adalah untuk yang dosa besar, convert millimeters to meters. So insyaAllah tak ada apa So how do you do this? You actually produce the decay equation kan. Cuma yang before that, just recap on the notation used in this chapter. You've got X as the element symbol. So this element symbol, you can actually refer it in your periodic table lah kan. And your periodic table now, 2020, is actually different from my periodic table 2004 when I took the A-level exams. Dia tambah elemen baru and whatnot kan. Dia dah sama macam dulu tak ada online, Facebook and whatnot kan. The passing questions pun memang semua tak ada access online sebab internet kan baru nak develop. Akses kepada passing question memang dari library. Tapi you guys sekarang semua ada kan, Papa Cambridge lah, Physics Now lah, siap bagi terus dia punya explanation kan. Lagi-lagi ada YouTube kan, YouTube channel Adam Tan kan, boleh subscribe. YouTuber sekarang dapat duit kan. We've got Z ataupun Z lah, depends on which continent are you from. Which is known as the proton number, atau kita panggil atomic number lah And then we've got the nuclear number, mass number here. So the mass number is actually the sum of the neutrons and protons that are located within the nucleons in the nucleus. So A equals to N plus Z. N referring to the number of neutrons. So where are the electrons? Are not actually located within the nucleons, is actually orbiting the atoms guys tu kan. So tu je lah, yang tu tak represented dalam notation untuk kita nak identify the element. Okay, so this is the equation. Kalau you kan, we've got uranium, dia decay into jadi lead, and we've got 8 alpha particles ataupun sebenarnya helium lah kan, and then we've got the beta particles, electrons, and we want to find the number of N kat sini. So this is how you translate from the question into a decay equation. Looking at the proton number, you can actually look at the mass number, tapi kalau mass number N equals to 0, you won't be answering the question lah kan. Kat sini, you akan dapat N equals to 6, so the answer is A. Siapa-siapa yang ada notes buat hari tu waktu nak jawab quiz malam tu, bolehlah keluarkan masing-masing, just untuk nak check. Sementara sebab saya nak grade, nak release score you guys punya grade tak sempat lagi sebab ada orang baru hantar tadi.
Siapa tadi? Siapa?
Acap ah,
Siapa,
acap ah. Astagfirullah.
Question
Is it-
number 2.
Is it Ucok, sir?
An
Ajak,
isotope of
ajak.
uranium with proton number 92 and nucleon number 235 emits a series of alpha particles and beta minus particles. What is the proton number and nucleon number after 5 alpha? Dia kata 5 alpha and 2 beta. So, buka je dia punya decay equation ni. So, untuk nak jawab soalan-soalan dalam chapter ni, you have to have a good mathematics in addition and multiplication je lah and subtraction. Tambah tolak darab bahagi tu je. Darab bahagi tak ada pun. And then looking at the nucleon mass number, you get A equals to 215. Look at the proton number, Z is equals to 84. So the answer is C. Is this?
Uranium.
Uranium, yes. Yeah, uranium di decay je dia apa?
Polonium, sir.
Polonium So how do you know whether it is polonium or not?
Saya ada periodic table kat sebelah.
Oh, tahniah. So you use the periodic table of elements kat sini. So kat mana polonium?
Bawah 84.
Okay, kita tengok kat 84 Maknanya kita tengok kat 84 ni we look proton number. We don't look at the mass number. Because dia ada kebarangkalian dia boleh jadi isotopes kan. Macam carbon 12, carbon 13, carbon 14.
Yes.
In the periodic table of elements, what is being represented is the proton number, not number. Because the mass number can change due to isotopes. So polonium is 84. Alright? Question number 3. What can be assumed to be the maximum range of an alpha particle in air? Few millimeters, few centimeters, few meters, few kilometers. Macam soalan dalam Who Wants to be a Millionaire kan? Okay, 50-50. So in order to answer this, you have to know lah the properties kan. So actually you are given in the notes a blank notes yang mana you kena isi sendiri kan. Tapi ada apa? Ada lagi satu set of notes yang dia bagi jawapan kan. So this is actually comparing the 3 types of radiations. We've got alpha radiations, beta radiations, gamma radiations, where the nature of each of these radiation is actually alpha, beta are particles and gamma are radiations. Kalau compare kat sini, alpha radiation ni sebenarnya represented by helium lah. It's actually the same helium. Dia punya mass number and atomic number. Kalau beta radiations, electrons. Yes, Arif.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Tertekan.
Tertekan. Ramadan dan buka gamma here. Kalau ikut gamma ni, there's no mass pun there's mass. Kalau ikutkan. Because it is an EM wave kan. Based on the charge, there's no ionizing charge for gamma. Beta radiation is a single charge minus. And this mass has been observed in the previous chapter kan. Tapi charge untuk alpha radiation ni is double lah sebenarnya. Okay. So we've got rise mass and speed. So kalau untuk nak jawab soalan ni, kita tengah nak tengok dekat dia punya penetrating properties. So kalau alpha radiation few centimeters, beta radiations few millimeters, gamma radiations few centimeters of lead. So itulah this, kalau kita ada EM wave ni, dia jadi macam ni lah kan. Gamma radiation is close to the X-ray radiation. Kalau you can recall, bila you nak pakai MS kan, you kena buat medical check-up kan. Bila buat medical check-up kan, kena ambil X-ray kan, betul tak? So bila nak ambil X-ray tu, you kena pakai baju lab tu kan. Yang berat tu kan. Itu sebenarnya untuk nak elakkan all those unwanted radiations to actually affect ataupun mutation in your body, in your organs lah sebenarnya. But baju tu berat kan. Imagine all those medical physicists yang ada dekat dalam hospital, they have to wear this every time they go into the room that contains equipments that play around with the gamma, especially gamma knife. Kalau dekat Malaysia ni, gamma knife ada dekat HUKM, Hospital Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Baru je purchase one new machine, gamma knife ni untuk treat cancer patient lah dekat brain lah. Okay, kalau ikutkan other properties include ionizing ability. So gamma radiation ni tak ada lah, dia tak ada ionizing ability. So this is the nuclear reactions yang ada Dia contoh kat situ. Okay. So the answer is B lah. Sorry. Few centimeters. Kat sini. Sebab dia referring to alpha particle. Kalau compare dengan beta, few millimeter. Lagi nipis kan. Okay. Question 4. In an alpha particle scattering experiment, a very thin gold film is bombarded with alpha particles. What is observed? Who can tell me the name of the person who actually who carried out this experiment?
Rutherford.
Rutherford kan. So tak tahu dia ada kaitan dengan Illuminati ke tak kan. So basically what is the objective of having this thin gold film punya alpha particle scattering experiment? Actually to what? Untuk apa? To investigate what?
Investigate.
The existence of the nucleus.
Properties of an atom, nucleus in an atom, Rubin structure lah kan. If you can recall, this is the Rutherford alpha scattering experiment. Dia punya setup lah kan. So, dia ada alpha particles kat sini. So, dia tembak benda ni dekat ni lah, dia punya atom tu kan. Which atom dia akan ada a very small nucleus. So, we've got results, observations lah from these experiments. Kita nampak most of the alpha particles are actually detected passing through the atoms. Only a few are detected to be deflected more than 90 degrees. So dia maksudkan 90 degrees tu kat mana? 90 degrees tu is the kat sini lah. So if this is the path and this is the angle theta, so if it is more than 90 degrees, kalau dia more than 90 degrees, maksud dia pergi balik kat sini. So tu yang dia maksudkan 90 degrees. So kalau kita tengok kat sini, only a few alpha particles were deflected through a small angle. Some of the alpha particles bounce back in the original direction. Most early are in dia punya conclusion lah Dia conclusion empty space, positive charge sebab dia ada dia ada deflection kan, and surrounded by a cloud of electrons, and the diameter of the nucleus 10 to the power of 5 times. So it's like 100,000 to 10,000 kan. Okay. So what is the answer? So the answer is this is the structure of the atom at the moment lah kan. Sebab dalam sains ni tak ada benda yang pasti. Benda yang pasti hanyalah dalam Quran. So sekarang ni dia orang nampak the structure of the atoms is this way. So probably in another 5 to 10 years, kalau ada orang buat more experiment kan, probably one of you dekat dalam kelas ni tengok-tengok dia jumpa benda lain. So kalau jumpa benda lain, so syllabus pun change lah kan. Tapi at the current situation, inilah yang kita tahu. So the answer is only a few alpha particles are deflected to an angle greater than 90 degrees. Because most of the atoms are filled with empty spaces. So kalau empty spaces, maknanya dia lalu terus lah. Ada juga yang deflected, untuk nak kata ada nucleus kat situ. Cuma nucleus tu is very small compared to the actual size of the atom. Okay. Question number 5. What can be concluded about a gold nucleus when alpha particles are scattered by a thin gold foil? So referring to the same experiment. Nucleus contain protons, nucleus contain neutrons. So dalam eksperimen ni dia tak nak tengok benda ni. Okay. Tapi yang kita nak tengok dalam eksperimen lah, nucleus is much smaller than the size of the atom. Sebab dia scattered kan. Scattering experiment. So, bila lebih banyak alpha particles, positive charge kan, they manage to go through to the atom, they detect on the other side, that means tak ada deflection sangat berlaku. So bila tak ada deflection sangat berlaku, majority of the alpha particles manage to go through it, that means tak ada benda lah dekat dalam atom tu kan. So tu yang dia kata nucleus tu ada. Nucleus tu ada dalam atom tu. Benda is very small. Okay. That's the structure of atom. Alright, habis. MCQ going for subjective. Give the name of each of the following ionizing radiations. So it's very straightforward lah kan. We've got helium, this one is alpha. Electron, beta. Gamma, gamma radiation. So we've got alpha particle, beta particle, and gamma radiation. Okay. So among these three radiation, which one is the most ionizing?
Alpha.
Alpha lah kan. Kalau ikutkan alpha and then beta, beta least, kalau gamma langsung tak ada ionization. Yeah. Right, what is wrong with the statement below written by student in his notes? Dia tak cakap lah ni feedback notes ke apa So, okay, kalau ada soalan by Shazwina, what if I wrote alpha radiation? Well, memanglah dia tengah cakap pasal radiation kan. Cumanya out of each of these, they are actually represented by what? We've got particles and we've got radiation. The only thing that is being radiated as an EM wave is the gamma. Tapi kalau ikutkan the first two, they are actually represented by alpha and beta particles. Maknanya kalau kita boleh tengok sebenarnya, walaupun kita tak boleh nak tengok, dia ada particle tu yang keluar kat situ. They emitted alpha and beta particles. It's better to stick with the answer schemes lah kan. Just to survive A levels. Sebab cara senang nak score dah dapat A star A level ni, stick to the book. Because you can't argue. Because you don't know who is examining you. Tapi kalau you go for further studies when you are already in degree, you can actually argue with the lecturers. Okay. Tapi sebab benda ni dia macam centralized punya examination all over the world. We can't actually argue with the examiners. What we can do is actually request for a recheck tu je. Tapi kena bayar pula kan. So macam leceh sikit lah. And if you go for research like me, boleh lah argue nanti bila you punya viva. Tapi untuk ni just my advice, just stick to the answer schemes, the terms, the keywords, the one that is being underlined. Okay, so what is wrong with the statement here? Let's all read together the statement. Dia kata beta particles emitted from a radioactive material are electrons that have been ejected from their orbits around their atoms. Yang ni beta decay lah sepatutnya kan. So dia kata beta particles emitted from a radioactive material are actually what? Dia kata electrons. Betul tak electrons? Beta particles, are they electrons? Yes or no? So are they electrons, number one? So if they are electrons, so that means there's nothing wrong with this statement. Kalau dia kata positive helium ke apa kan, alpha particle, maknanya tu kata salah lah kan. Tapi dia kata electron, so this is correct. Have been ejected. As it is being ejected, emitted, dia keluar lah kan. Dia taklah benda tu masuk kan. Kalau tak nanti jadi benda lain. So have been ejected from their orbits around the atom. So most likely this is where it gets wrong lah. Sebenarnya kalau lah dia bukannya emitted atau ejected from the orbits around the atom, so the beta particles are actually emitted from where?
Around the nucleus.
Okay. So jawapan
The nucleus.
Allah terlaju lah. Okay. So dia kata a beta particle is an electron emitted from within the radioactive nucleus. So dalam nucleus tu lah kan. So actually the nucleus dia emitkan proton dan dia emitkan kat sini kan. Betul tak? Dia 0 minus 1 then we got 1 tak silap. 1 0 if I'm not mistaken. Betul. So within the radioactive nucleus, it is not on an orbiting electron. So it is actually originating from the nucleon itself, which is the neutron lah. Okay. Right. That is what is wrong with the statement. Alright. State 2 of the properties of gamma radiation. State 2 properties. Banyak sebenarnya property gamma radiation. One of the most basic one, it travels at the light speed of light because since it is an EM wave, kan? Kalau EM wave maknanya EM wave yang kita belajar waktu chapter 8 tadi tu kan, waves. Yang kena hafal dia punya spektrum kan. Kalau ikut spektrum dia, speed of light lah. Ataupun you can say it has no charge, it's not ionizing compared to alpha and beta. It is not affected by electric or magnetic fields. It is a very weak ionizing radiation because it has no charge. Requires several centimeters of lead. Okay? Bukan several centimeters of paper. Kalau several centimeters of paper tu maknanya itulah alpha particles kan. Yang alpha particles yang dia decay tu ada dalam smoke detectors kan. Okay. Ataupun it obeys an inverse square law. Ingat lagi tak inverse square law?
Density.
Jangan lupa inverse square law. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Also Huygens principle. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kalau saya kata high penetrating power boleh tak?
High penetration Kalau ikutkan high penetration maknanya dia consistent with this, betul tak? Yeah.
Nice.
Alright. Okay. So spreads out from a source in the air or vacuum lah. So it observes the properties of an EM wave. Okay. Question 8. Another decay equation. Senang lah sebenarnya chapter ni kan. Sebab dia main tambah tolak je kan. The only thing that is between you and obtaining A star punya result ialah apa? Carelessness. Okay, in each case below, write a nuclear decay equation. You got polonium, and polonium emits an alpha particle and changes into an isotope of lead. So straightforward. Kita tahu lead, dia punya X ialah, dia symbol ialah Pb. We've got polonium here. We've got one alpha particle. So equate A equals to 206. What about Z? Z equals to 84 minus 2. 84 must be equal to Z plus 2. Conservation. So this is the answer lah. Okay, for part A part 1. What about part 2? You got strontium. Strontium. Nama pelik-pelik And then dia jadi apa? Isotope of yttrium. Yttrium. Saya nak sebut yttrium. Pelik lah orang sains ni kan. A equals to 90, Z equals to 39. You've got this one. Tapi dia kata apa? Dia suruh write a nuclear decay equation kan. So kalau decay equation, you have to write the entire equation lah. Not only just the final element, but also to show this. So kena ada. So it's like chemistry lah. Okay. B. Explain why the number in your answer to A does not change. This one is actually discussing the nature of the neutrons. One of the neutrons within the nucleus of strontium changes into a proton and an electron. Sebab dia beta decay kan. Beta decay. Kalau ikutkan A part 1 ni, this is an alpha decay. Sebab dia emit alpha particles. Kalau part 2 ni, dia emit beta. So it's a beta decay. So what happens? Beta particle is not emitted from the electrons orbiting the atom, obviously, but it is actually originating from the decay that occurs within the nucleon. Maknanya one of the neutrons instead of the proton, one of the neutrons is converted to a proton. So kalau proton saga ada, proton wajah ada, proton. Oh my god. So neutrons they convert kepada proton and electron. So because of conservation kat sini, apa dia kata? Nuclear number. So kalau nuclear number maknanya kita tengok dekat sini lah kan. So 1 plus 0. So although it does not change. Jadi dia punya conservation kat situ. Although the atomic number changes lah because it's minus 1, they increase by 1. Yttrium. Okay. So the loss of a neutron and the gain of a proton implies the same total number of neutrons. So dalam nucleon tu, kalau you draw, kan, kalau banyak lah nak lukis kan, 90 and 38. Takkanlah nak lukis kan. I was pondering to actually draw it here. Tapi macam leceh pula. Defeats the purpose kan. Tapi nak katakanlah the shaded one is a neutron. And the white one is the proton. So what happens? Yang tu dia tukar lah kan. One of them dia jadi proton. So lepas tu electron is emitted outside of the nucleon. So that's why it does not change. Right?
Alright.
Mark here, 1 mark here. Alright. Question number 9. During the transformation of the thorium, it's got nothing to do with Thor lah. Walaupun gamma pun has got nothing to do with Bruce Banner for some reason. So thorium into the isotope of radon. Radon ni is widely used dalam medical imaging. I am actually playing around with radon number dekat my research PhD ni lah. Pening-pening. Tak siap-siap lagi. Nanti nak tulis-tulis ni. A total of 3 alpha particles and 2 beta minus particles are emitted. Determine the nucleon number and the proton number of the isotope of radon. So similar, you actually produce the decay equation. Get the nucleon number, you get A equals to 220. Looking at the proton number, you got 90 equals to, so Z equals to 86. So therefore, the nuclear number of isotope radon is 220. The proton number is 86. So this is the answer. You can actually check whether radon is your final answer correct or not. To do that, you actually look at the periodic table. So macam mana Alif? Boleh tengok you punya periodic table, tengok radon kat mana?
And 86.
86 So kalau kita tengok balik kat sini kan. Kita tengok where is radon. We don't look at the mass number, tapi kita tengok dekat dia punya atomic number. So kalau radon kat sini is here, is 86. Betul lah. Kan? So but if you calculate the atomic number tapi you dapat different, maknanya your calculations are incorrect kat situ. Okay? So far so good?
So good.
Alright. Moving on. Question 10. Okay. In an alpha particle scattering experiment, alpha particles are fired towards a thin gold foil. The diagram shows 3 alpha particles approaching a gold nucleus in the foil. Copy the diagram and on your copy, complete the path of the alpha particles. Siapa nak lukis? Ada siapa-siapa nak lukis tak? Yo, sekejap. Ada?
Asal apa lukis?
Ada? Anyone would like to annotate? You can actually draw it straight away kat sini. Okay, Izzatul Zafira, go for it. Alright, that's it. You draw one line, green color. Lukman having problem with connection kan? Dia macam keluar masuk kan? Kesian pula dia. Okay. Struggling nak lukis? Okay. I'm not sure. I don't think this is the actual drawing that you drew in your notes lah kan? Sepatutnya kan? Ini mungkin sebab you tekan mouse tu ke apa kan? Good job. Anyways, thank you very much. Okay. So kita ada tiga alpha particles. The first particle, they travel, dia jauh sikit daripada gold nucleus. I'm not sure whether did you intend to draw a deflection or not. Kalau dia straight away saja, betul lah sebenarnya dia adalah deflection
It's supposed to be straight.
Dia ada deflection. Dia ada deflection sikit. Okay. Sebab dia positif, maksud nucleus pun positif juga, so dia ada deflection sikit. Cumanya kita comparekan the deflection of the first alpha particle compared with the second one. Kalau second one tu deflection dia tu lebih tinggi. Tapi it doesn't touch the gold nucleus lah sepatutnya. Dia tak sepatutnya touch. Okay. Sebab positive repels. Similar signs pun repels each other. So kalau alpha particle ni pula, kalau kita look closely, the third one, dia betul-betul in the middle of the nucleus kan. So kalau dia betul-betul in the middle of the nucleus, of course if you draw it having nak memang dia kena more than 90 degrees kan dia punya deflection. Cumanya kalau kat sini dia sebenarnya bounce back. Dia macam dia tembak, lepas tu dia pergi balik in the same direction. Same but opposite in the opposite direction. Okay. So it's actually a straight line. Regardless, thank you very much for your attempt. So this is actually the answer lah. The first one dia ada deflection sikit, alpha particles. The second one dia ada lagi banyak deflection, tapi the third one dia repel betul-betul lah. Okay, what about question 2? Dia kata add to your diagram a dotted line to show that bukan dotted line lah. Dia kena ada 3 dotted lines for each alpha particle guys tu. Anyone wants to try? Silakan. Draw back the answer that you drew in your question. Anyone would like to try drawing the path of the alpha particles? Anyone? Any takers? No? None?
We don't know.
Okay, Adlina Huda, go for it. Okay, so you drew the deflection occurring earlier compared to the faster. Alright. Okay, thank you very much. So kalau the first and second one tu sama lah Tapi the third one, apa tu? The third one maknanya dia punya deflection tu occurring closer ataupun further.
Further.
Further lah Okay, thank you very much. Good job. So kalau ikutkan dia punya schematic answer macam mana? Macam mana pula? So we've got faster and slower. So the faster and slower one for the first and second part, the first and second particle tu betul lah kan? Ya, Adlina lukis kan? But the third one it shows as if dia lebih dekat. Maknanya dia berjaya masuk lebih dekat kepada gold nucleus tu and then dia kena repel. Why is this so? Kita tengok. Question number 3. Explain why the alpha particle comes closer to the gold nucleus when the alpha particle is actually initially faster. Okay. This is actually the schematic answer tapi kita cuba untuk nak make sense juga lah Kita tengok. Okay. So why? When the alpha particle is initially faster, then it has greater kinetic energy. Okay. Thus, it has more potential area to be able to be closer to the gold nucleus before the deflection. The problem is, the first one is the faster one. Second one is the slower one. So kalau slower maknanya dia less energy. Kalau dia less energy maknanya dia lebih senang untuk nak dia repel by the gold nucleus, betul tak? So kalau ikutkan what Adlina answer is correct lah kan. Cumanya ada query kat sini because of the third particle. Kan? Unless ada sesiapa yang kat sini yang agree with the ni. What do you guys think? Do you agree with Adlina or do you agree with the schematic answer?
Adlina.
Menarik kan? Okay, anyhow, I'll get back to you regarding this question. Tapi for now, kita just stick with Adlina's answer. Okay, explain why the scattering experiment leads to the conclusion that an atom is mainly composed of empty spaces with a very small nucleus because more number of alpha particles are actually detected at the end or the other side of the gold. Most alpha particle passes through the atom with small deviations and only a few are deviated by more than 90 degrees. Therefore, an atom is mainly composed of an empty space and a very small nucleus. Approximate values for diameter of gold nucleus and gold atom. How do you define it? You Google betul tak? Mana ada? Oi. Habis tu. Tengok buku. Calculate, Masya Allah. Kan? I use a micrometer screw gauge. Tak ada lah. Okay. Approximate value. This one you just have to know by heart lah. There's no other way. Okay. Tapi apa yang kena tahu ialah the difference must be a magnitude of 10 to the power of 4 lah. Ataupun 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power of 5 kalau ikutkan. Okay. Dia punya difference between the gold nucleus and gold atom. Sebab yang mana satu patutnya lebih besar? The nucleus or the atom? Of course, the atom must be larger kan than the nucleus kan? But that's the whole point of this scattering experiment. Because when the nucleus is very large and we've got a very when the atom is very large and the nucleus is very small, so that's where all the other alpha particles are able to go through it. Okay, right? Moving on. Next question, question number 11. Distinguish between the random and spontaneous nature of radioactive decay. Nothing much to explain. You just have to know it by heart. random tu apa, spontaneous apa, you can actually answer, give the answer either one of these. Either two. You kena dua random, dua spontaneous. Kalau you kan dia ada lebih banyak lah kan. Okay. So I'll send this over to you just for you to check. Part B, explain why the evaporation of water molecules from water is faster at high temperatures. Well, memanglah kan bila you didihkan air tu nanti dia akan evaporate cepat kan from liquid to gas. Because of what? The atoms are able to release by itself kan. The high speed small water molecules have the energy to escape in evaporation. Escape the force that is tying up between the molecules. But for the nucleus is unaffected by the movement of the atom as a whole. Kalaulah betul temperature is temperature boleh affect emission of radioactive particles. Oh my god, just imagine right now with global warming kan, bila musim panas kan, semua jadi mutant kan. Tak boleh lah kan, dia mesti kena ada radioactive decay lah kan. Temperature dia tak memainkan peranan pun. Kalau temperature mainkan peranan, kita akan dekat zombie land lah sekarang ni. Okay, part C, list alpha, beta and gamma similar energy in ascending order. So dia keyword dia kat sini similar energy. So kalau similar energy we can compare it lah kan. Kalau different energy kita boleh nak compare lah kan. Ascending order maknanya meningkat daripada yang paling lemah kepada yang paling kuat, yang paling kecil kepada yang paling besar. We've got 4 properties here. Ionizing ability. So kalau kita cakap pasal ionizing ability, kita tahu gamma has got no ionizing ability, so it must be the first one. We've got range in air, mass and speed. So this is actually referring to the table that we discussed earlier. So this is it. Tapi kalau ikut yang something yang macam kita boleh query tu, macam mana kita nak compare mass of gamma radiation when it has no mass? Tapi kita just katalah gamma tu ada, kalau kan tak ada mass. Kalau nak compare juga, it will be the least lah in the order, the ascending order. Okay. Wallahualam. Habis.
Okay. Sadaqallahul-azim.
Sadaqallahul-azim, macam baca Quran lah pula kan. Okay, any questions regarding this subject?
No.
Tak ada lah
Nothing, sir.
Alhamdulillah. So I think manageable lah sikit lah. Walaupun benda macam melompat sikit kan daripada electric fields yang ada banyak equation semua, masuk benda banyak kena hafal, benda banyak kena baca kan. Tapi cuba je lah insyaAllah. Okay, just sebagai pengakhiran, bonus slide. Dah lama tak bagi bonus slide. Some reason sebenarnya rushing lah kan. Okay, for this bonus slide, dia special sikit. Kita ada okay. Dengar ke?
Dengar.
Saya nak buat lagu sedih ke saya?
Macam motivasi je. Tak.
Okay, motivasi.
Okay, bonus slide InsyaAllah. Tak payah tutup mata. Jangan tutup mata, nanti tertidur.
Arif tidur.
Alhamdulillah, it has been a good wild ride for more than almost 2 months, tak sampai 3 bulan. So I would like to announce that this will be my last session with you. Sebab next week dah break and my contract has already been expired. I was informed by Puan Salina, my last day will be next Friday during your study break. So after this, you will be, I think another teacher will be taking over after Raya lah, when you resume your work. So Alhamdulillah, it was very good 2 months, lebih sampai 3 bulan interacting with you guys. I would say comparing 5 years, my 5 years with UiTM and only not more than 3 months with you guys, I think you guys lebih mantap lah, lebih bagus Alhamdulillah. So I would like to say all the best for your future endeavours, and hopefully you guys benefited. I pray yang semua orang akan dapat A* dalam you guys punya physics. Tapi what is more important sebenarnya, you succeed in your life in the hereafter juga, not only in your world. kalau ikut bonus slide ni, ada apa-apa bersangat kan? Just my question to you, a series of questions that I've been giving to you throughout is actually what's next? What's next for you? Kan? Because I've been trying my best to share what I have been exposed myself. But I was in your shoes at KMS for 2 years, for 1.5 years juga lah fast track kan. Kita result trial lah kan. Tak adalah kita ambil O level apa-apa kan. Banyak lah. I would say throughout my life, KMS, waktu kat KMS ni one of the best times in my life lah sebenarnya kan. A small group of people daripada MRSM kan. We spend a lot of time together. Tapi benda yang jadi lebih best tu ialah bila pergi overseas tu, and then we were exposed to something more valuable compared to just academic. Because kat UK tu, that was the first time I was exposed with tarbiyah dengan usrah. Memang revival of the Islamic spirit within me. So that's why kalau you observe, saya ni different lah dengan lecturer-lecturer lain. Even kat UiTM pun memang sangat-sangat beza lah. Because I tend to be not secular. We cannot, tak boleh nak asingkan. Sebab memang Allah SWT yang govern this whole world. And we have to live in that. Because that is the only way for us to succeed. So, my advice to you guys is, please, go back to your religion. Go back to our religion, which is Islam. And the best method to do that, from my experience, especially studying overseas, ialah bersama dengan tarbiyah ataupun bersama dengan usrah. Regardless of apa-apa usrah sekalipun usrah ada macam-macam jenis usrah, tapi go for it. You actually can just spend at least 1 to 2 hours saja in 1 week sitting down with a group of people who have the same intention to know your religion better and for you to become a better person, not only in this world but especially in the hereafter. Okay? Go look for your usrah. For me, I met my usrah waktu kat UK. Of all places, I met with hidayah from Allah SWT dekat UK. That's why, alhamdulillah, when I was offered dekat KMS to go back, this is my mission. My mission is actually to convince everyone to actually at least hold on to one usrah. And then you can actually feel the ni'mat, the sweet feeling of knowing Islam, understanding Islam in its true perspective, like how I did. So, kalau siapa-siapa yang tak jumpa usrah, pergi cari usrah. Tak jumpa usrah, can always come to me. Usrah dengan saya pun boleh juga. Jom join usrah saya. Even though I'm not lecturer juga kat sana, but still boleh je pergi seremban daripada pagi untuk nak bawa usrah setiap minggu, tak ada masalah. But that's it. Take care of yourself. Make sure you don't go astray. Your potential is very great, and I have seen my friends macam mana dia orang punya potential tu when dia betul-betul put into Islam, memang very superb. Kalau you guys know ada a few young people, up and coming young people, memang dia orang gunakan dia orang punya talent for Islam, and it's actually benefiting the ummah. Ada juga my friends yang memang dia guna dia punya talent tu for not Islam, and then that is actually a complete waste of talent, complete waste of time, and it is actually not benefiting. So that's it, guys. It has been fun interacting with you for not more than 3 months. I will surely be missing you guys, especially dengan semua you guys punya antics kan. Tapi sayanglah tak dapat nak jumpa lama dekat kelas, terpaksa jumpa secara online macam ni. Apa pun kita buat, mungkin wallahualam boleh ingat, remember me in your doa, remember me in your prayers, insyaAllah. And kita saya doa antara sama lain, may we benefit in this world, especially in the hereafter, especially in this blessed month of Ramadan towards the end kan. Ingat lah. Okay, so that's it, insyaAllah. Habislah. We can proceed to the next class lah. Lepas ni chemistry lah.
Yes.
Okay. Wallahu a'lam bishawab. Qul qawli hadha astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Okay, lagu kelas rap. Boleh wrap it up insya-Allah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
You,
Sir.
sir.
Allahumma subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal as innal insana lafi khusr innal ladzina amanu wa amilus solihati wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Amin.
Amin.
Class picture insya-Allah before we end.
Jom. Saya isyarat.
Okay, tak masuk nanti puan komang bisingnya. Alright, last picture insya-Allah.
So saja buat Islam sedih kan.
Kalau ada rezeki kita jumpa lagi Very
Allah.
much looking forward to meet you guys insya-Allah. Jangan lupa usrah insya-Allah. Wallahu a'lam bishawab. Okay, ready?
Sir.
Siapa lagi? 1, 2, smile. Right, that's it. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.
Salam. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.